This is the story of something that still gives me chills whenever I think about it. I am going to tell you about a night that changed the way I look at school forever. This happened a few years ago when I was in high school, and trust me, it's something I'll never forget. It was a normal winter evening. The sun had already set, and the cold air made everything feel quiet and still. Our school had organized a late-night study session for students preparing for exams. A few teachers were there, along with about 20 students, including me. We were in the library, deeply focused on our work. The large windows showed nothing but darkness outside, and the only sound was the scratching of pens on paper and the occasional whispers of students discussing questions. Around 8 p.m., the school's intercom suddenly crackled to life. A deep, emotionless voice echoed through the empty hallways. "Attention, students and staff. The school is now in lockdown. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. Lock all doors and remain silent." For a moment, no one moved. We all stared at each other, confused. Then our teacher, Mr. Dawson, quickly stood up and turned off the library lights. "Move to the back of the room, away from the windows. Now," he whispered, trying to stay calm. My heart started pounding. A lockdown at this hour? It didn't make sense. If it had been a drill, we would have known beforehand. Something was wrong. We all huddled together in the dark, barely breathing. The library was silent, except for the sound of my own heartbeat in my ears. Then we heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps echoing through the hallway. Someone was out there. A few students gasped, but Mr. Dawson motioned for us to stay quiet. The footsteps stopped right outside the library door. My stomach dropped. Whoever it was, they were just a few feet away from us. The handle of the door rattled. Someone was trying to get in. I felt a hand grip my arm. It was my friend, Lisa. Her face was pale, eyes wide with fear. I could hear her breathing heavily, trying not to panic. The door didn't open. It was locked. Then there was a knock. Not a normal knock, but a slow, rhythmic tapping. Like whoever was out there wasn't in a hurry, like they were enjoying this. My entire body froze. Then we heard the voice, a whisper, just loud enough for us to hear through the door. "I know you're in there." A cold shiver ran down my spine. Who was this? A stranger? A student playing a sick joke? But then, we heard something that made my blood run cold. "I saw you all in the library. You can't hide forever." My breath caught in my throat. They had been watching us. Suddenly, the footsteps started again, but this time they were running down the hallway towards the other rooms. Then, the sound of doors being slammed open, one after another. Whoever this was, they were searching for people. Lisa gripped my arm tighter. "This isn't normal," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Mr. Dawson pulled out his phone and tried calling the police. No signal. That didn't make sense. The school wasn't in some remote area. Why was there no signal? Then, the intercom crackled again. "Attention, students and staff. The lockdown has ended. You may exit the building." We all stared at each other. That was impossible. Lockdowns didn't end like that. Mr. Dawson shook his head. "No one move," he whispered. "That's not an official announcement." Then, we heard something even worse. Laughter. A deep, chilling laughter echoed through the empty hallways. It wasn't coming from one place. It sounded like it was all around us. Then, silence. For what felt like forever, we stayed there in the dark, not moving, not speaking. Then, suddenly, the power cut out. The room was swallowed in complete darkness. Lisa let out a quiet sob, and I could feel my own panic rising. Then, footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Inside the library. Whoever it was, they were in the room with us. Didn't dare move. I could feel my entire body shaking. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying that this was some horrible nightmare. Then, the footsteps stopped. Right in front of us. For the longest moment, No one breathed. Then a whisper, so close that I could feel the air shift. "Found you." I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed Lisa's hand and ran. A few others followed, and in the chaos, we heard the sound of desks being knocked over. We didn't look back. We ran through the hallway, down the stairs towards the front door. When we reached the entrance, we stopped dead in our tracks. The front doors were wide, open, and standing just outside, under the dim streetlights, was a figure. Tall, motionless, watching us. Something about the way it stood there sent a wave of dread through me. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It just watched. Then, the school's security alarm suddenly blared. Red emergency lights flashed, and in the chaos, Mr. Dawson appeared behind us, shouting for us to run. We didn't need to be told twice. We sprinted outside, into the freezing night, not stopping until we reached the main road. The police arrived a few minutes later. They searched the entire school but found nothing. No sign of the figure. No forced entry. No proof that anyone had even been there. But we knew. The school installed more security cameras after that, but to this day, no one knows who or what was inside that night. And the scariest part? The lockdown announcement never came from the school's system. The intercom had been shut off the entire night.